This is just a parody. Yep. Got nothing else to say here. High Impact Games. Ratchet's peripheral vision is addicted to sand clank. I'm surprised that umbrella doesn't have an unnecessary bit of tech sticking off of it like an antenna or something. Strangely archaic for this universe.
Much better. The sun is murder today.
I'd consider adjusting your umbrella then. It's casting shade in the opposite direction. James Arnold Taylor isn't, being in... Oh my god, he was in the Shrek the Third game. I'm running out of ideas.
I swear, Clank, I'm done with all that hero stuff. Now, let somebody else save the universe. I need a little me time.
But in Going Commando, you said...
I guess no one needs a hero right now.
This is strangely out of character for Ratchet. More archaic technology. At least Outcast would approve.
You're Ratchet, right?
Well, I see you have a knack for recognizing greatness.
Remember when Ratchet was a somewhat unlikable character in the original that was redeemed through a character arc? Apparently this game doesn't.
I was wondering if it would be possible to get some pictures of you doing some heroic action.
Aw, they dragged Shigo from Kim Possible into this too? By the request of a little girl with a camera, Ratchet goes on a murderous killing spree, slaughtering countless unsuspecting holiday goers. Sure, they attack him, but Ratchet is the one intruding on them, right? We get it, Ratchet and Clank 1 was a thing! I'm only doing this twice more, I promise. I know that's David Bergiard, whatever's music, but it honestly sounds like bootleg Ratchet and Clank soundtrack to me. Throwing your wrench takes about a millennia. That's quite the interesting angle you've snapped there, sweetie. Alright, I've gone way too long without addressing the elephant in the room, so let's get it over and done with. The controls, for want of a better word, suck. Instead of designing the game around the limited control scheme, the developers thought it would be a good idea to just emulate the console Ratchet and Clank games despite the lack of a second analog stick. This puts camera control on L and R, and strafing, once handled with L2 or R2, is mapped to the D-pad. It kinda works at first, but the further the game goes, the worse it gets. The camera gets stuck on things, meaning you lose track of enemies often, and constantly swapping between the nub and the D-pad eventually becomes tedious. I didn't have to deal with these issues as much on this playthrough, as the emulator allowed me to map the camera to the right stick and fire to R2, and thanks to the PS4's ultimately superior D-pad, it felt, okay. But there's no mistaking that trying to emulate the control scheme of a game that required 2 analog sticks on a system with only 1 was a massive mistake. I can't entirely fault the developers here, they did the best with what they had. But imagine that a Guitar Hero controller was the only currently available controller, and a team built a first-person shooter around it. Sure, they tried, but that doesn't mitigate the fact that the guitar controller simply wasn't built for it. So let's pop 20 cents on, because honestly, screw this control setup. Crouching, high jumping, and long jumping are all handled by holding L and R. Again, I know there are limitations, but that's still another 5 cents. Well, that's inconspicuous. Why a suit of armor is hovering in the middle of a body of water in a tropical resort, we'll probably never know. Yeah, I'd be proud of having the ability to levitate things too. Clank and Quark's newspapers are clearly different sizes. Are there different sized newspapers and books for different species? Why do they even have newspapers? I thought print media was a dying medium. I need details, damn it! Unconvincing disguise is unconvincing.
Clank! What a coincidence! What are you doing here?
I am trailing Ratchet and Clank to see what they are doing, so I can join in on their next adventure.
Hey, that's what I'm doing!
Another out-of-character moment, this time for Quark, who would rather be soaking up the spotlight than risking his life.
Do you not have somewhere else to go? Home to your family, perhaps?
Hey, Quark. Nice hat.
It was kind of funny. If I am one thing, I am generous.
It's my mother and father. I never knew my family.
Can we just not? I am not the least bit curious in who Quark's parents are, and I'm sure most of you probably don't care either. Unnecessary wanton destruction. At least Ratchet remembered his gravity boots this time, but he forgot his grind boots. Close, but no donut. Ah yes, the annoying boat section from Pokitaru makes an unwanted return.
I believe it is a Technomite artifact.
Yeah, right. Seriously, what is it?
Jesus Christ, it's the Zony debate all over again.
Is that what I think it is? Oh, gimme! I haven't seen one of these since... Well, I've never actually seen one.
If you've never seen one, then why did you get so worked up when you saw it?
If you want to help that girl, we should follow the coordinates etched on the side.
Instead of following random coordinates on a random artifact, they could probably just remember back to several seconds ago when the robot that captured the stupid girl said it was proceeding to Caledon. So I'm guessing it's canon that Quark can breathe in space then.
If you tell us where to go, you can stay here and use our ship's computer to research your family history.
You could just look that up on any old computer, you know.
Quark, Where do we take the artifact?
Try that big building. For some reason, the good stuff is always in the biggest buildings.
So, literally every Ratchet and Clank level ever then. I like how they're trying to do the level overview thing that the other Ratchet and Clank games do. That only works when you've got something interesting to look at though. This is just zoomed in on some brown crap. I was gonna yell, I don't like change for the sake of the meme, but honestly, that noise is terrifying. It sounds like a groovy emergency broadcast or something.
Whew, that was a close one. Now, let me have that water pistol, little fella.
It's a fucking water pistol, Ratchet, keep your pants on. Ratchet survives this. Clank is unfazed by this.
By shooting mimic plants, you can make them follow you. Then, by using it to water electro soil, the plant will hop in and transform itself into a platform, a creature, whatever you need.
This is the most situational gadget I think Ratchet has ever received. Well, apart from the warp pad. Suddenly I'm getting Crash Bandicoot 2 flashbacks. Seriously, digging it and behaving at terrible levels no matter how you cut it. Couldn't find a better sound effect for the footsteps? It makes Clank sound like an uptight blonde strolling down Sunset Boulevard. Clank level.
These Gadgebots are extremely useful.
Thanks, Gadgetron lady. Doesn't explain why they're here though. Of course, you can only pick up one Gadgetbot at a time with the bot flinger. Wouldn't want to waste anyone's time, would we?
Ratchet.
I mean, it's only been 15 minutes.
How do we know this whole place won't explode when you put that on there?
We do not.
Ratchet would normally be the one saying that, and Clank would be the cautious one trying to deter Ratchet from doing it. Do you see why this game's story is so hard to pay attention to?
Whoa. This is so cool.
It's not.
This one is Caledon.
Hey, that's where that robot soldier said he was taking the girl.
Exactly. And here are its coordinates. I have never seen these coordinates on any other maps.
That's a fair enough excuse, except when we arrive on Caledon, Skyboarders happen to be using the area as their racetrack. Clearly this planet is more well known than the game makes us believe.
It has been too easy.
Easy? How's about I ride around on your back while you do all the fighting?
Ratchet takes what Clank said the wrong way for no apparent reason and gets visibly mad also for no reason. Was Quark there the whole time? What the hell?
I was poking around on the computer when I got a message from some company called FauxFamily.com.
FauxFamily.com. We get it, Ratchet and Clank 1 was a thing, except it actually kind of applies here because the Agents of Doom suck, lol. With a few exceptions, the soundtrack here is genuinely pretty amazing, especially here on Caledon, which kind of gave me Gemlik bass flashbacks. If I had to take a sin off for size matters, it's for the soundtrack.
Do I look like a cheater to you?
No. Not at all.
The bar for humor has officially been lowered. A Lombax's tongue is so tough, it's capable of stripping the flesh straight off the floor of its own mouth. David Attenborough, eat your fucking heart out. I noticed a lot of people complaining about Skyboard races and how unplayable they were. Honestly, they weren't that bad. I mean, it controls about as well as your mum and a pair of ice skates, but they weren't terrible. All those annoying hacking gadgets from previous games have been replaced by, well, just shrinking yourself down and infiltrating the lock with your grind boots. You know what? I kinda like that. Okay, seriously, what is the point of the concussion gun? It's got the worst ammo to fire rate to damage output ratio I've ever seen. Worst shotgun hands down, and yes, that includes the Shard Reaper. 20 sins. The Scorcher is also decidedly meh. It has terrible range, and due to the way Ratchet swings it about as you strafe, it makes it really hard to aim the bloody thing. I miss the Cheeto gun. Fighting waves of enemies on a seemingly never-ending elevator ride cliche. Don't know how to tell the player that the elevator's gonna blow up? Just tell them via on-screen prompt. Works every time. We interrupt this level to bring you the Lost Precursor City from Jak and Daxter. The customizable armor is proof that the game at least had some decent ideas. While you end up looking like a Mardi Gras participant if you wear different bits of armor from different sets, it's still a pretty neat concept. Manually equipping the swing shot. Is it supposed to have tentacle arms, or is it just a purple ape? Clank's head can fucking do that?
I never introduced myself. My name is Luna.
Great, you've ruined my favorite girl's name now. Thanks. Also, character is named Luna despite having no connection with the moon or night. I'd sin it if that were the case, but naming her Luna just seems random. Give her a more bratty name or something.
They will be surprised it was so easy to capture such stupendous superheroes.
That is very good, Luna. Now try. She sells seashells by the...
Hey! He was just trying to help!
I feel like the writers are just making characters stupid whenever they feel like it for the sake of an out-of-place joke.
We have the information we need.
We?
Wait, what?
They must have blasted you good, soldier. You're on planet Metalis in the middle of Robot War 3.
Metalis? The last thing I remember is talking to Luna, and then...
Whew, that was a close one. You better get moving, soldier. You're gonna end up like me.
Okay, so I thought he exploded, and I was like, how is he still talking to Clank? He fucking dead, lol. But then, while he's talking, Clank glances over to this guy, who looks nothing like the head that just exploded. Where is the voice coming from then? What the fuck is this game? Clank level. Actually, scratch that. Clank Arena. Of all the people to inform Clank of Ratchet's whereabouts, it was... Scrunch? Seriously? I'd ask how, but we're barely halfway through this game and I already feel like I'm gonna pass out. Discount Lemmings. Sure was convenient that there was a giant Clank pad on this planet. Senor Plot Convenience must be around here somewhere, surely. We interrupt this game to bring you Star Fox. Again. I get it, you want to show off all your pretty particle effects on the graphically inferior PSP. And yes, it does look nice to an extent, but being able to tell what's going on takes precedence over a few pretty graphical effects. How to design a boss battle 101. Literally just have it throw as many different attacks at you as possible until the screen becomes a Technicolor mess.
You're going to need a bigger scalpel, Doctor. Oh, there, big guy. We're just getting started. Now, if you don't like the sight of blood, you might want to close your eyes.
That is genuinely terrifying.
It is safe inside this door.
The door is addicted to Ratchet. This level is called The Dream Time. I don't know if Indigenous Australians can claim copyright on that or not, but I feel like it'd be within their rights. I'm gonna award Size Matters points for originality here. There's some great potential for a dream sequence in a Ratchet and Clank game if this level is anything to go by. Having said that, this level is a confused mess. Those annoying wavy effects are there the whole time, narrowing your viewpoint on what is already a very small screen. Platforming is sometimes unnecessarily difficult due to the camera being pulled back and Ratchet's shadow disappearing. If you're making a 3D platformer, the player's shadow is extremely important. And the combat sections are annoying thanks to an unfortunate pairing with the PSP's controls and small platforms. Honestly, the Dreamtime level isn't Snivlack levels of bad, but 20 cents. We get it! Ratchet and Clank Mom is a thing! Okay, that's the last time. Enjoy your stupid inside joke. All of Ratchet's enemies have come back to haunt him in his dreams. Chairman Drek, Dr. Nefarious, and... Dalek Ratch? Fuck you too, game. Quote-unquote boss battle. Are we just gonna ignore the fact that Ratchet finds a set of armor in his dreams and can magically use it in the real world?
That's okay, Clank. I'll handle this one.
This is becoming really hard to take seriously. I mean, any more seriously than the other games, but you know, at least they felt like normal characters who didn't change personalities on a whim. The wrench does not deal that much damage. All your equipment has been taken from you and you have to retrieve it cliché. Turret section. Oh yeah, you have to buy the box breaker and Map-O-Matic in this game instead of finding it in a hidden area. Now, which sounds more enjoyable to you? Turret section. How does he remember the parts he wasn't awake for? Timed turret section.
Here it is. Luna's last entry.
How fucking convenient.
I planted the fake evidence. Quark's weak mind is so easy to manipulate.
Yeah, okay, but what's the point of even fooling Quark into believing you're his father anyway? On one hand, you look nothing like him. On the other hand, this does nothing to further your quest for whatever the fuck you were doing, absorbing intelligence or whatever. On a third hand, wherever it came from, you'll have Quark constantly showing you affection and calling you daddy. Is that something you want? I was okay with racing skyboards once, but twice feels like a bit much. Discount Quartu.
Danger, danger! High voltage!
Ratchet shrinks himself down even further while in the Technomite City. Shrinkception? A sniper weapon seems twice as useless without the lack of a second analog stick. At least it looks cool, I guess. Also, instead of just shooting all the Technomites, why not use the shrink ray to make yourself bigger and just step on them? Dropship shoots lasers at platforms to destroy them before fighting you head on. Am I back on planet Dax again? Little girl turns out to be evil robot cliché. You know, I feel like that's a cliché, but I can't recall any time I've seen it.
There she is! Let's get her!
Ratchet, do you notice anything unusual about Luna?
Well, she does seem to have an unusually large door in the back of her head.
I swear I'm gonna bust my poo-poo valve if these shenanigans keep up.
Great news, fellas! I found my father! Turns out he is the leader
Not
of the...
now, Quark. We've got important business to take care of.
If Quark knows Otto is the leader of the Technomites, shouldn't he think that's a little sus? He's not exactly a Technomite himself. Also, character interrupts another character as they're about to reveal important information that would save them a lot of trouble cliché. Day Nine Moon. Haha, very funny. Let me post my crying emoji and move on. Fucking bullet sponges! Please, developers, do not do this. It's nothing more than unnecessary padding and frustration. Clank Arena. This boss fight is dumb and stupid and it's only worth 5,000 bolts, so yeah, no. Ratchet went to the Prometheus school of running away from things. I've been waiting so long to say that. I think I've found a boss that's at least almost as bad as the thug leader on Snivelac. It starts off with an incredibly easy chase scene, followed by another chase scene where the only thing you need to do is press X to jump over the obstacles, followed by a section where you have to avoid falling rocks for like a solid minute, in which you'll probably get hit by a rock you couldn't see coming. Also, there's no way that small section of cliffside had that many rocks in it, followed by the normal part of the battle against Luna in a combine harvester. Okay, look, this battle is pretty poorly designed. Depending on where you're standing at the end of the last phase, you might spawn right next to Luna and she will immediately run over you. And unless you have the shock rocket, your chance of winning this fight is as slim as Jared Fogle probably is in prison. Seriously, bullet sponges are not good game design. And if you die, you have to do all of this all over again, which takes about 2.5 minutes just to get up to the main part of the boss. Just give it 25 cents and just be done with it.
We Technomites are tired of being taken advantage of. Everyone uses our technology, but no one gives us credit.
Because no one knows about you. If you made yourself more well-known instead of leaving everybody to believe you're just some children's fable, then people would give you credit. Just saying.
We're making our own Ratchets.
What?
Using our advanced cloning technology, Emperor Otto has begun creating an entire army of Ratchets.
Oh, they're not kidding. Wow. Exactly how cliche can this story get?
I believe I may be able to interface with her to retrieve those coordinates.
I don't know, Clank. Something this advanced must have security programs to keep you from doing that.
I am sure I will have no trouble avoiding whatever security she has installed.
Clank!
Look, let's just give the game an extra 30 cents so we can be done with this out-of-character bullshit.
Oh, no. Now what?
Just open him up and pull the Technomites out. Not hard.
I got it. Here I come, Clank. Hang on.
Persona! Yeah, I'm quite proud of that one.
Freeze! Hands in the air!
James Arnold Taylor attempts to shoot himself. Surprisingly, twice in the span of 20 seconds. Clank, has Gadgetron vendors in his body. Okay, no, you could jump gaps that wide in the other games. Don't give me that sass. A door so dangerous you take damage just by looking at it. Either that or the devs forgot to make you invincible during the cutscene so the shockwaves don't hit you.
No! Stand back, son.
In the recording booth, they told James Arnold Taylor to do your best Bill Clinton impression. It wasn't his best.
You better get out of here before the automatic virus detection program comes online and hunts you down.
A virus detection program shouldn't be able to detect living things, but what do I know? It's the future, baby! Even though I get hit numerous times, having the static barrier on meant the game didn't register me as being hit, and I got a skill point for it. This song plays on literally every cutscene, I swear.
Of course! The factory shrunk. Well, let's stomp around until we squish it, huh?
I do not think it will be that easy to find.
So take the hover car to the factory and then squish it?
This little Emperor Otto should be a piece of cake anyway.
Oh, Ratchet, you poor bastard. If only you knew. To the guy who removed the second quick select ring, I hope you have your flesh stripped from your foot and you step on a Lego. Don't think I didn't forget about the dual lacerators. Honestly, they start out being pretty average, but then you get 2 of them. And then you can add a second barrel to each of them. 4 fucking barrels, dude! It also helps that they're useful throughout the entire game, unlike previous machine gun or pistol weapons, so that's a plus in my book. However, buying the lock-on mod ruins them as it focuses the camera on a particular enemy. That sounds useful, but the mod's awful tendency to lock onto another enemy at random does nothing more than hurt your eyesight. I have a condition called nystagmus, where my eyes stray from side to side, making it hard to focus on things for long periods of time. And I don't think I've found an accurate way of describing my condition until now. 5 sins for nystagmus! Fuck this level! The controls, terrible camera, cramped spaces, and the seemingly never-ending waves of Ratchet clones really come into their own here. And by that, I mean they hit new heights of awful. I understand why people like this game, but this level is what brought me to the conclusion that I, frankly, cannot stand it. 15 cents, please.
This isn't about credit for our work or respect or whatever nonsense you have come to believe. This is about power.
So, like Drek, he uses the wishes of his own people as a deception to hide his true motive. This game continues to wow me with its originality.
And what is more powerful than intelligence?
The rhino?
I'm going to use my Ratchet army to gather every intelligent being in the solar system. Then I will transfer all of their brain power to me to become the most intelligent entity the universe has ever known.
Back up. So this upside down penis wants to use an army of Ratchet clones to capture every single intelligent being in the universe and transfer all their intellect to him. Okay, so plot-wise, that's not exactly the best motivation a villain has ever had, but it makes sense if you think about it, because otherwise, Otto wouldn't be wasting his time with making Quark believe he's his father, which serves literally no purpose to the plot other than a bit of comic relief. Also, villain spends way too long monologuing cliche. The laser tracer is kinda cool, but aiming it with a single stick is kind of annoying.
Now be a good boy and get those two out of here.
Quark, get these two out of here. Actually, I've changed my mind, I'll do it myself. You know, someone consciously animated these cutscenes and somebody else wrote them. Did they honestly not think about how stupid it all looks?
Papa, why did you make Quark so tiny?
I know we all joke about Quark being an insufferable joke character, but he nails it in the other games to the point where he becomes likable. Here, he's just insufferable. What the hell is his camera angle? What? Giant Clank battle.
Can I have a piggyback ride?
Why did he even try and hit Quark with the shrink ray? He was already small enough to be stepped on. Why did Clank shrink back down? Dude, come on! Why do these footsteps sound so awkward? Dude, come on! Say it with me, folks. Otto is the worst boss in Ratchet and Clank history. His shields are a bastard to take down, he has way too much health, the hitboxes on his attacks are way off, and if you don't have the PDA, you're fucked. Honestly, I'd rather clean out my asshole with boiling hot magma than fight this boss again. Thanks, Otto. You're one of the only times in my life of playing games that actually made me angry, and for that, you get 50 sins.
These are Quark's real parents. Scrunch says they were killed by defective equipment created by the Technomites.
Several problems. If the Technomites are responsible for the foundation of much of the world's technology, then that's like saying, my toaster blew up and left my sister with a disfigured face for the rest of her life. Damn you, William Gilbert! Also, Quark's mother at least can't be dead. Quark can be overheard asking one of the Galactic Rangers to call his mother aboard the Starship Phoenix and up your arsenal. Also, who the fuck cares? Who was sitting at the edge of their seat saying, ooh, I wonder who Quark's parents are? They're not even characters we've been introduced to, so how are we supposed to react to this news?
I recognize your parents from the photo. They were great superheroes in their day.
Clank knew of Quark's parents, yet Quark didn't.
What are you doing? You don't know how it works!
You think I'm an idiot, do you?
You do not know the effect of this machine.
At this point, I don't care.
The way characters talk in deep, growly voices half the time makes it seem like this was directed by Christopher Nolan. You know what would have redeemed this game for me? If Otto had switched intelligence with Scrunch's butt.
So get your Battle Ratchet today! It's the most realistic fighting toy ever created!
What? No, you can't sell clones as toys for children. They're living beings with their own thoughts and... Actually, if I go any further, this will turn into an Oni Plays episode. Yep, no, I'm done with this game. I know I'm missing a weapon or two, I know I haven't bought the Rhino, but I don't care. I'm done. So let me get this straight. Clank, who is a super intelligent robot that is also a monkey whisperer, can't understand that faux is French for false? When the Technomites enter Clank's body, oh god, they are way out of proportion. Luna is introduced to be like a friendly character, but if you look at the front cover of the game, you can see Luna has red eyes, and red eyes equals evil, meaning the game already spoils that she's evil before you even play the game. XD3. What the fuck is XD3? Oh, it's an emoticon. I'm a fucking idiot. During Otto's monologue about the mind transfer machine, he makes the distinct point that it transfers intelligence from one to the other, as in the intelligence should stack, hence becoming infinitely intelligent. So why the hell does he lose his mind for Scrunches? Shouldn't he simply gain the ability to speak monkey? Because by this new definition, it would mean he can only transfer one mind's intelligence at a time, meaning he would have to store the other geniuses somewhere else. I feel like there was a missed opportunity to make Medical Outpost Omega much more interesting than it actually was. I wanted a pseudo-stealth section with tough as hell enemies where Ratchet had to run rather than fight, but instead Ratchet just finds a box that farts all his weapons back at him and says, lol, here's your guns, have fun, XD. Why didn't the Technomites leave anyone to guard Ratchet just in case he woke up, or better yet, take away his wrench along with his weapons? Size Matters is made by the same team that made Jak and Daxter: The Lost Frontier. Simply being associated with that abomination deserves 5 sins. In the final cutscene, we see Quark as a baby, already in a superhero costume. Is Quark's species just born with spandex on? How did Otto's space station turn from a highly advanced station to an almost perfect skyboard course in, like, 2 minutes? The shrink ray is a huge missed opportunity. Despite being advertised in the commercials as well as being an important plot element, it's only used in the game as a means of accessing the grinding sections. I think if it were a weapon or had puzzles revolving around it, it would have been great, but as it is, again, it's a missed opportunity. There's a set of armor you can only unlock on the 3rd playthrough. That bullshit can fuck right off. It only makes the game artificially longer. Dream Clank Battle is an interesting idea, but the whole thing falls apart because the boss doesn't have any interesting attack patterns. In fact, it's the complete opposite. Add 10 sins for the fact that neither Size Matters nor Secret Agent Clank was ported to the PS3 or PS4. I fucking want those games now! I've never played them. Honestly, that sounds like a sin off to me. Stop! Stop! I just found the worst thing in Size Matters. Look at this, look at this, look. Just look at it. Look at the developers trying to incorporate hip leet speak into the game. Despicable, horrifying, unconstitutional, absolutely barbaric. This crime cannot go unpunished. You know what we gotta do now, right?
Why did you make Quark so tiny?
Dude, it's just a hat.
It's not that. It's my mother and father. I never knew my family. I was given up for adoption as a baby and was raised by monkeys.
Okay. Thanks for sharing.
And about like 30 to 45 minutes ago, I beat the fuck out of my dick so goddamn hard that I can't even feel my left leg. My left leg has went totally numb.
Do I look like a cheater to you?
No. Not at all. You seem A-okay to me.
Oh boy, more couch co-op Let's Play channels. Sorry, I watched them a lot. Anyway, this time around, I want to bring attention to the D-Pad, a Let's Play channel that puts out so much content on a daily basis and still manages to be pretty interesting and fun to watch. They're worth watching at least for the Legendary Let's Play, the Mega Let's Play, and the Dreamy Let's Play, where they play through every single Zelda, Mega Man, and Kirby game currently available. Anyway, check them out in the description. Just a little update on the whole everything wrong with thing. Obviously, we've only got 4 more games and a movie to go, so what happens afterwards is kind of still up in the air. Obviously, I'll still keep on doing reviews, as they're still more fun to make than these videos are. Not that these videos aren't fun to make, that's the complete opposite. They're still quite fun to make anyway, but there's also the issue of the format being too close to the CinemaSins format. So, to those who watch me for the everything wrong with videos, I encourage you at least to watch my reviews as well, as a lot of the humor from these videos is still present, but if you guys want me to keep making these, then I'm gonna have to change them. As to how, well, I'm still not quite sure yet, so, I mean, hey, I'm open to suggestions. Anyway, I'm gonna make a proper update video discussing this as we get closer to the end of the series, but it's something I need to start thinking about and something I could use your help with. You guys are the reason I make these videos, so your feedback and ideas is imperative to making these videos as good as they possibly can be. It's eventually going to get to the point where I can't read out the names of every single patron, but I had to make a special exception this time. Thank you to all my awesome patrons: Connor Partner, Jarden Bramhall, Laurent Lacroix, Rob Kefford, Niall Murphy, Bonesaw is ready, Crystal 1314, and Ruthless Savage Hatred. Pretty sure you can tell which one is the joke. Anyway, if you're currently contributing to valeforXD, thank you so much. You guys are awesome, but remember, simply watching my videos is more than enough support. Fucking Bonesaw is ready. The next big video is a review of a 3D platformer from the PS2, followed by everything wrong with Secret Agent Clank. Make sure you submit your sins below, and don't forget to use hashtag ratchetsins. I'll see you lead hacks or noobs in the next video. Please excuse me while I cut my fucking head off.